Here with us now is Ohio Congressman Mike Turner. He serves on the House Oversight and Armed Services Committees. Congressman, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First, let me get your thoughts on your state of Ohio sending troops to D.C. to support cracking down on crime there. Were you behind this plan?
Well, I think what's important here is that the president is focusing on the issue that crime really is affecting the capital city here. And we certainly have seen it in the issue of businesses leaving and of the decay that's been occurring in Washington. People have not felt safe and businesses have not felt safe. They've even seen it in the bottom line. The number of businesses that have opened and then closed and left the city has been staggering. We've seen Walmart, CVS opened businesses and then close them and leave the city. And they have cited crime as the reason why they have left. It's not just the citizens that are here. It's even the businesses that are here that are leaving and are disinvesting in the city. So bringing back confidence in this city is incredibly important so that the city can again thrive. And then you have, of course, the issue of people feeling safe, people recapturing the capital so that people can feel safe in the capital. And the president bringing this issue forward is an incredibly important one, I think, as we look to our urban areas and making certain that safety is an important issue.
President Trump agrees with you. He said D.C. is the most dangerous city in the country, if not the world. He said that on Friday. Let's take a listen to what he said.
Everybody wants to save D.C. In one way, it's the easiest. The violence was more than any other city in the country, actually, by far. It may have been more than any other city in the world. If you could think, we looked at some of the worst cities in the world. It was worse.
Congressman, I think this is where the disconnect is, because FBI stats show multiple cities, including Ohio, Dayton, Ohio specifically, which of course is in your district, have higher violent crime rates. So why send your own National Guard troops to D.C. rather than addressing crime in your own state?
Well, in this instance, you have the president calling for assistance and utilizing really the unique relationship between the federal government and the Capitol. And so this is a national issue. I do believe that in all of these instances where we have our urban areas and crime, mayors need to do a better job of focusing on this issue of safety and in crime. I myself was a mayor. I put 54 additional police on the streets. We saw a tremendous reduction in crime. And what we saw, not only that it made a difference in people feeling safe, in our neighborhoods being safe, but also businesses came back, investment came back. You saw a healing of the areas where people felt safe again. And that's what I think is incredibly important is, economic development follows where people also feel safe.
With higher crime rates per capita, and again, I'm going to bring up Dayton, Ohio, would you want to see National Guard troops in your state?
Well, again, I think what we need to see focusing on first is the fact that, communities need to focus on this issue, and the president raising this as a national issue certainly raises it for communities to be able to say, hey, our community needs to address this issue also and ourselves. This needs to become a national priority. People who live in communities where they don't feel safe, the local community needs to be able to have a response. I know when I was a mayor, it was amazing to see the number of people who felt that City Hall wasn't being responsive to them, that their voice wasn't being heard. The president making this a national issue certainly now makes it a local and a state issue that I think will become a national conversation that will result in change.
I am curious what Ohio residents think, again, considering there are higher crime rates in their state than in D.C. So how will Ohio pay for the National Guard's men and women that was sent to D.C. instead of helping with the crime rates in their own state where they live?
Well, again, I think what you're missing here is that this was a call by the president for the engagement of the National Guard, and again, the unique relationship that you have between Washington, D.C. and the federal government. I think this is an important relationship and an important call that the president has made, but it is a national issue that I do think, and the president's been very right to do so. As President Trump has called on these national issues, he has usually hit things that are themes that are on the front burner of people's thoughts of their own communities and in the country. And this is one that really does affect the whole country. Now he's saying, look, this is not just a Washington, D.C. problem. This is a national issue. And I think in that he's causing a debate nationwide. That debate is going to result in city halls, state legislatures taking up this issue, and I think that's going to be good for people in the communities that we all live.
Yeah, I agree with you.
This is an important issue. People need to feel safe in their own communities, their own neighborhoods. It's an economic development issue. It's a personal safety issue.
No, I think you're right. This is an important issue. It's a national issue. I'm just looking at the numbers, and when you look at crime rates per capita, D.C. is not top of the list, but I'm going to switch gears here. We saw the Texas legislature overnight pass a bill for new congressional districts. Voters in California, they will get the same chance come November 4th. Your home state of Ohio will also be getting this debate. The president has put a lot of emphasis in redistricting. Congressman, I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Well, in our state, we're up for redistricting automatically in this cycle. So we'll be going through that process anyway. This is not our just taking it up. This is something that we're in cycle. So this debate will be occurring for our redistricting.
So according to state laws, if the maps are passed without bipartisan support, they only hold for 4 years rather than 10. So will this be new operating procedures in states like yours, voting on new redistricting maps every 4 years that typically do align with party lines?
I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, obviously, this is what's occurring in Ohio. This is the current process that we're in. There's been constitutional amendments that set up what these processes are. And we're currently in that process now, undertaking that debate.
All right, let's move to the Alaska summit. It was over a week ago. That's when we saw Trump meet with Vladimir Putin. No trilateral meeting has been planned between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine. Just earlier in the week, the president was so optimistic that's obviously died down. Putin has continued to attack Ukraine. Your thoughts and your takeaways from what we've seen this week and where negotiations stand currently?
Well, I don't think the president's lost optimism. I think he certainly continued to have this as a priority on the forefront. And the stakes here are incredibly high. His goal has been and remains to stop the killing in Ukraine. And unfortunately, Putin's ruthless, murderous aggression against Ukraine does continue. What we've seen at the White House, which is just extraordinary, is the unification of Europe. As they've come together at the White House among the president's leadership, you saw a unified leadership of Europe with President Zelensky coming together to join with the president and calling for the end of this war. Now, what we're going to see next is obviously this unification is going to join with I do believe, increased pressure on Russia. That is obviously the next phase. It's been clear that Russia's been given the chance to come to the table in a meaningful way. The president spent an unbelievable amount of time with Putin, trying to give Russia and Putin the chance and the opportunity to meaningfully embrace peace, which Putin is obviously at this point showing that he is rejecting in both the ceasefire and in his continued aggression and attacking of Ukraine. I think that's going to require, as a result of this unified voice that came out of the White House, a pressure on Russia that hopefully will include significant sanctions to economically impact Russia, just as Russia has been impacted militarily by the unified support of our NATO allies, the United States, and our allies to support Ukraine in their ability to defend themselves against Russia.
Yeah, that unification certainly hasn't seemed to deter Putin as of yet. They actually bombed an American company in Ukraine overnight. This is an important discussion, Congressman. Thank you for coming on. Congressman Mike Turner of Ohio. Thank you.